What makes you laugh?
I don't laugh very often. Probably my grands and great-grands. Kyle is a great-grandson, and he must be 6'2" or 3" tall, slender. And they come down usually every Saturday. Is it Friday? It must be Friday, because Aaron comes Saturday. And he brings his horn. He's now taken up a horn. And it's just, it's so good to hear him bring his horn, come down and play it. And then I'll tell him to get Harold's old trombone out, or trumpet, whichever he played. I don't know, it's in the closet. I mean, this is pretty rusty. But anyway, he plays his horn, it's good. Ryan is more bookish than Kyle. Kyle's a lot more outgoing than Ryan is. Ryan's more into science, and Kyle's fun. And Drew is spatial, and he has a little brother, Ethan. He's a nice kid, I guess. Anyway.
What's it like, you said everybody's gone. I mean, what's it like to have everybody come and go and precede you in death, and I mean, where you're at right now in life? What's it like for you at 100 years old? I'm trying to imagine what it would be like at 100 years old.
Isn't any different than 50 or 65 or
Yeah.
any other age? Age is what you make it. And I've never thought about age as being old, young, middle age, whatever. You take it as it comes. Age has never bothered me. And out of 7 children, why I'm the last one to be here, I don't know. I just don't know. But I've been so blessed with not having, being in a nursing home and being sick, and I don't know why that is either, except we had a well at home at Buckeye Lake. It was in the ground, and it was full of iron, and it was cold. And we used to go out and take our cups and just drink that water. It was so good. I don't know why I'm still here. I have no idea. He has a plan for all of us, and I'm sure his plan's still working for me. Don't know.
What recommendations do you have for somebody my age, just in living life?
You know, I just took each day as it came and accepted whatever I was dished out. Prayed a lot, of course. But certainly never prayed to be the last one out of 7 children to live. It's lonely at times when you think there's just no one you can share anything with. There's no family. It's gone. I think books have been my salvation. I do love to read. And the grandchildren, great-grands, they've been a blessing. I wish David lived here or I could see him more often, but not to be. So life goes on, and I've been blessed. And I never wake up thinking, oh, what am I going to do today? It's a blessing to wake up every morning and thank God you're still here. And I don't do the housework like I used to or bake like I used to. I have foot trouble. I have a lot of pain in my right foot, and I can't be on it very long. It takes me all day to bake a batch of cookies because I sit a lot. And Jim will come and run the sweeper, and Jim, you don't have to do that. There's only Mr. Pippi and I here, and no, I want to do it, so he did. But and it's not a lonely life at all. It's a very good life.
What would you say is the secret to returning goldfish to the pet store?
Secret to what?
Returning fish to the pet store. Because I remember you've had a couple of bends now, haven't you?
Oh, about 13 or 14.
And is it true that you returned a few?
No, I don't think so. Do you think we did?
I'm pretty sure you might have at one point.
I don't know.
I remember.
I don't know.
I remember you telling me that one died, and you took it back to the store and said,
We had a lot that died. Yep. And they've all been bends. And I remember the celluloid doll. It's about this big. It sits upstairs in my bedroom on a rocker that I got from the store that your parents bought down on Main Street across Columbus when they first came. I think they were on Columbus Street when they first came, but then they bought the business over on beside the Canal Place. And I don't know whether Dodie brought me the doll. I don't think I've ever been in the store. So maybe she brought me the doll. It's a big, I call him Ben. I don't know why. And he has Lori's, he has a dress on of Lori's when she was little. I don't know why I call it a he. And he has a hat, knit hat. I don't know where I ever got that. He doesn't go to wear it together. I don't think he has shoes on. But he sits in a little rocker up in my bedroom. He's cute. I talk to him a lot. Oh my. Have a collection of Harold's mother's dolls in a crib over in Jinx's room that I uncover and look at every once in a while because they're so old, different. Then I have two big dolls that sits in the library in a chair. And they're both dressed, and they're big. And I think they belong to Harold's mother. Yeah. So I like to carry on traditions.
So eventually, someday, of course, we all will pass. What traditions do you want us to carry on?
I've never given it a thought. Just make sure you keep in touch with your children and grandchildren, greats. and the friends who are left, if you have any. Keep in touch. And it's friends that have moved away that we went to school with or bridge club with. Just lots of good memories that I have and still remember. A lot of fun times. A lot of good golfing days with Dodie and Joe Glockner. We played a lot of golf.
When you get to heaven, what do you want to hear at the pearly gates?
Welcome. I want to see my sisters and my parents. And I will. I never think about dying or what's there after I die. I've just never thought about it. Maybe I should and should get prepared, but I don't know what to do. It just never enters my mind. I just enjoy my grands and great-grands and my kids and the people who are left, which in my day, there's no one left in Bridge or Twig or anything else. Library. As I say, there's no one out there to share anything with. It's gone. But that's okay. You make do with what's there, and you make new friends, new life. I think you just have to enjoy each day.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. And the love of books, I think, is one great attribute you can have. Just the love of reading. And I got that from my mother. She was an avid reader, and so was Jenny. The rest of them were not, but she and I were. And I don't like fiction. I've never read fiction, but I like the biographies and the maybe I don't dwell on the Bible. I read scripture in the morning and before I go to bed, and that's about all I think about it until the next day. I don't know. I used to love gardening. Loved it, but I can't do it anymore. Can't plant.
What about gardening did you love?
Hmm?
What about it did you love?
Oh, the planting and watching them grow. In the spring, you get all these plants and plant them, doctor them, and watch them come up. And it's a pleasure. But that's gone. I used to mow the grass. I used to love to mow the grass. That's gone.
If you could go back into history, you said you're a biography fan. You could go back into history and meet any person.
Oh, dear.
Who would it be? Who's most intriguing to you in history?
I don't know, but when you asked, the first thought was Eisenhower, Ike. Maybe because I lived during his time. I would like to have met him.
Why? What about him is intriguing?
I thought he was a very kind man. I don't know. I don't know. I think I would like to have known Mrs. Roosevelt. I think she would have been somebody to know. I did go visit her home one time in New York.
I think her Uncle Teddy Roosevelt would have been an interesting character.
Yeah, he would have. My vision of him has always been in their, I don't know whether it's their summer home, or he lived, I think he had water surrounding it. And he was always standing out there in the front yard. I don't know, that's the way I see him. Let's see, Wilson was just ending when I came in, so I really didn't know much about him. I think I would have liked to know Mrs. Roosevelt, Mr. Eisenhower, Clintons. Oh dear, so many.
Next random question.
Hmm?
Next random question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather play cards or do a puzzle?
Oh, play cards. I used to do puzzles with Andrew and Matthew Roach across the street. They'd bring their puzzles over, and we'd work on those when they were little. And then he would, after the puzzle was done, he'd carry it on a tray over to show his mother. Gee, it's been years since I've seen those boys.
Next question.
Mm-hmm.
Connect Four, the game Connect Four, or Monopoly?
Monopoly?
Which would you rather play?
I'm not going to play Monopoly.
Why not?
I don't like it. No. I'll play. Jeez. I'm not going to play Monopoly. Mm-mm. When Jim comes, we play. Did we play Rubik's Cube?
Oh yeah, all the time.
That's what I thought. Jim and I play King's Corners. That's what we play when he comes. Jinx is, she's not a card player.
Yeah, we used to play Rubik's Cube.
I thought we did.
And you always got frustrated because I would consider the board before I played.
Drew is not into cards yet. He may never be. I don't know. He's just a bright kid. he may never do anything like that. Kyle and Ryan, we play cards. Right now, Drew's in the coloring. He brings out the crayons and the books and we color. Ethan just runs around and screams.
Sounds like my girls.
Yeah. But and I think Ryan is more into science and things like that. And Kyle is a fun kid and he likes to play his horn, and I enjoy Kyle. And little Peter, I haven't seen him too often, so I really don't know much about Peter. He's what, 2, 3? 3? And Chase, I don't think I've ever seen Chase. And Lori and Aaron seemed like another generation away, which it may be. I don't see Lori that often. I do see Aaron. Nice kids. I used to see Claudia and Chuck, Patty, and they were little growing up. They were fun kids to be around.
Why is that?
You think of the Twig and all the bridge clubs we belonged to and the friends we had, and there's no one left. No one. I have one, as I said, in New Mexico. That's the only one I remember.
So when you were finally long and gone,
You mean when I'm dead and gone?
when you're dead and gone, do you want to, if I hit record here, do you want to say goodbye to everybody or say anything to them?
After I'm dead and gone?
No.
No,
That I'll play for them when they're gone.
no,
No?
no. I don't want to live like that.
No, I'm saying, do you want to say a message to them now that I could play later?
I know what you're saying.
Oh.
I never thought about it, really. Never. What in the world would I ever say to them?
I don't know.
Hello, goodbye. It's been nice knowing you. Ah. I never gave it a thought, Andrew. I don't.
What are you?
What?
What are you doing here?
I'm sitting here talking to a little buddy that I grew up, that he grew up, that
Spit it out.
he was, when he was born, I knew him. Oh, shoot.
Did you know me when I was born?
No,
Why not?
I didn't want to. No,
Oh, you're gonna hurt my feelings.
I can't help it. It's the way it is.
I was gonna get you a birthday card, but now I'm not.
Okay, I'll mark your name off my list.
You mean the bad list?
Yeah, the bad list. Heck, I
You
don't
want
care.
anything, I tell you.
What are you doing?
I'm checking all the heat out. You know, I've been trying to work with the guys from R.N. Smith for a week, trying to get the heat regulated in the building. This is my meat thermometer when I cook. I can walk around, it tells me the temperature in all the rooms. And you can use it like this. Oh, well. Yeah, so we found out a lot of crazy things were going on that weren't right, and we're correcting them.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. We had a damper over here that was wired backwards, and so instead of, when it would call for the heat, it would close it. That's gotta be that way for, I don't know how many years. I don't know how many years. It was never right. A new thermostat was put in downstairs. It was never programmed correctly. Now it's programmed correctly. We had a relay that was sticking in the youth room. It would never shut off, so it was just always hotter than blazes over there. So I've been getting my pay.
And nobody ever did anything about any of this, but you. How did you ever start that there were mistakes?
Because they were cold.
Oh,
Flat out cold.
oh.
Now they're not.
Well, that's good that somebody knew something to do.
So, you behave yourself. You gonna be there tonight?
Huh?
You coming tonight? Wednesday night dinner.
Uh-huh.
Wife's down there cooking. I'm helping her.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
What are you doing walking around here if you're supposed to be down there cooking?
My job's done down there for a while. She threw me out. She's making chicken bacon pasta and
Chicken
chili.
bacon pasta.
Gonna have pieces of chicken, crumbles of bacon, and pasta. You'll love it.
Never had that.
Well, I haven't either.
Oh,
I was tasting. Didn't you smell me burning the bacon down there?
no.
Put it in the convection oven. Got a little bit too hot. Just a little bit of it.
I don't
I'll
know.
see you tonight.
Yes, you will.
And you behave yourself.
I plan on it.
Good seeing
You
you.
too.
Okay, let's see what the part is back here.
I can't think of his name. I would have introduced you, but I can't think of his name.
That's okay.
I should know it. I see him every Sunday. Eesh. It's sad you get to the point where you can't think of somebody that you want to think of, and what is their name? What is their name? It's gone. It just. You wake up in the morning, you wonder, what day is this? What was yesterday? What was, oh, yeah, it must have been Tuesday because Judy was here. Oh, then today's Wednesday, okay. Get up and go to church. I've got to have something for me to decide what day it is, and it's, boy. I swore this morning before I woke up it was going to be Sunday. And then I turned on the radio and they said it was Wednesday, so I was way wrong on that one. But it's hard to figure out what day it is.
Well, I can say you've aged with great grace and poise. I will give you that one.
Well, thank you. Grace and poise.
Mm-hmm.
Grace and Nora. Those are two cute names, you know it?
Mm-hmm.
Grace and Nora.
Brian did well on those.
Yes, he did. Whichever one did, they did well.
That was Brian and Amanda. I got Emerson and Ashlyn.
Where'd you ever get Emerson?
I don't know.
Was that out of the blue, no family name?
No family name.
Huh.
Yeah. Clare, it's Emerson Clare Peters, and Clare came from Clare County, Ireland.
Came from where?
Clare County, Ireland.
Oh, really?
And we both like that.
Ah,
So we spelled it different, but it's still Clare. And Ashlyn Reed
is
Peters.
Claire Claire?
Mm-hmm.
And Ashlyn?
Ashlyn Reed Peters.
That was nice that you remembered me and her name.
Yeah, well,
Nice.
yeah. You're always special to us.
It isn't often that happens. I don't. Let's see, it's Lori Ellen, Aaron Thomas, David Reed, I guess it is, David Reed Bailey. Drew Reed, no, that's not right. Drew Thomas Reed. That other kid. Ethan. Ethan? I don't like that name. Ethan. I don't know what his name is. Drew is such a gentleman, so quiet. Ethan is noisy, loud. Yells.
My daughters run and play hard, so they're probably in the loud yelling category. We live hard, play hard. I had to teach Emerson that she's got to yell coming in hot before she drops a power elbow on my back. She blindsided me a couple of times and I thought I was actually hurt. I said, sweetheart, you got to tell me when you're coming in. Yell coming in hot. So now I hear this coming in hot as I get hit in the back of the head with a pillow.
Oh my. I wish I could remember the growing up years of James and Jim, but I can't.
I wonder if parenting was easier, harder, or just the same back then.
I think pretty much the same.
I feel like we're getting pulled in 1,000 directions these days. I think of a weekend at the lake and how peaceful that must feel,
Yeah.
and how we just don't have it. We don't create that space anymore.
And really, it was a place, we never went on vacation ever because we had the cottage to go to. And I think as we grew older, we looked forward to going to the cottage in the summertime. It was a different way of life up there. And Mother didn't have the responsibilities that she had on Park Street. So it was like a vacation. It was entirely different. There were friends, people that came back to the same cottage every summer, even though you didn't know them in winter, but you knew them in summer. No, it was just different.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
If you just had a marker, you could, or if you were younger in those years, if you just remembered to write down something to remember the Buckeye Lake years. But I think it was dated, day after day was the same thing. You got the same thing as here, except up there you didn't go to school. You just got in the boat and went swimming. And I think I have more memories at Buckeye Lake than I do on Park Street. Maybe it was fun times and no school, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But there were, I think the times were freer. You didn't have any fears of leaving your door unlocked or open all night. You fed the tramps when they came to the door for food. And there just were a lot of kids that you played with every day. Red Rover, jump the rope, hide and go seek. Just, kids don't play those today. Never hear of them. They're never outside playing. They're inside. So I think today is a different way of life than it was when we were growing up. So much freedom then. And you never see children walking anymore. You see parents with them or in the car with them. But you don't see kids walking by themselves. Wonder what it'll be in 20 years, what it'll be like.
Stick around and find out.
Dear God, hope not. That boggles the mind. Whoa. No.
That's okay. I think the past 4 presidential elections, you've told me, well, this is my last one. I hope you enjoy it.
I jumped the gun on that one, didn't I?
Maybe a little bit. But look at all this chaos you would have missed.
Yeah. A lot.
We won't get into all that.
Seemed like those years were so peaceful. There was never any strife ever. You didn't think about who was president. You accepted it as he was and what he did. And there's just, people don't get along with each other today. I mean, with peaceful years with Ike and Wilson, Roosevelt, Teddy. I have no idea who's going to run the next time for president. Is anybody up? Anybody talk about it? Anybody say anything?
They're starting to, but I want to back up just for a second. You said the peaceful years? Teddy, Ike, Wilson, and Roosevelt, like World War I, the Depression, and World War II.
Oh, well, I wasn't thinking of those wars. I was just
the peaceful years?
thinking of Park Street and
Okay.
Rising Park and our peaceful years.
Fair enough.
Didn't do much about politicking. I don't know. I suppose Dad was a Republican. I don't know. I never even don't think we spoke of it.
Did
I'm
he read
sure he's registered Republican, but I don't know.
Did he read the paper? You remember that?
I'm sure he did, but when he came home from work and had dinner, he'd go to his rocker in front of the fireplace in the playroom. And if we went in to ask him a question, the paper was always over his face and he was asleep.
Okay.
That's about what I remember of Dad. And there were 9 of us. We had a huge kitchen table. Sundays we ate in the dining room. Weekdays we ate in the kitchen. And Dad was at one end and Mother was at the other, but in between was Dave, and I think I sat beside Dave, and I remember, maybe it was Beth, she didn't like crusts, so she'd take all the crusts and put them under her plate, the rim, so nobody could see them. And I remember the last time she ever did that, David, my brother, told Dad what Beth was doing. So she was sent away from the table, and Dave was sent away from the table because he squealed on his sister. That was the end of the bickering on that one. And we had a pool table in the playroom. And David would bring his friends in to play pool. And we were allowed to sit in chairs to watch, but we couldn't play. And then on a holiday, when did you give out candy?
Halloween?
Halloween, there would be 9 piles of candy on the pool table for we kids, 7 piles for we kids. And I think the first time we ever saw that was why? Because you argued over the time over candy, and this is the way we're going to do it. You get your pile, and that's all you're going to get. That was it. We used to bring in the wintertime, Mother always hang clothes out because she didn't have a dryer. And she washed on the porch and hang them on the line. And by the time we got home from school, she'd say, go bring the clothes in. And you didn't have to move the clothespin. They were just stiff, frozen stiff. And we'd walk them on that little porch and hang them up on a hook until they dried out.
Do you remember your first telephone?
Hmm?
Do you remember your first telephone?
Mm-hmm. It was black. And it was one of those that was on a stand and you 832. I think that was first that I remember. And when the phone would ring, everybody go run to answer the phone. We got used to it, but in the beginning, it was everybody ran to the phone.
How about, which came first, the radio or the phone for you?
I assume the phone. Mother listened to phone or the radio every noon at 12 o'clock. And what was it, Chet? Chet? He's out of Cincinnati. And they had news on every noon at 12 o'clock. Chet. I don't know. But she always listened to the noon at 12, and then at 6 o'clock we listened again to the news. I'm not sure it was ever on in between. Because we certainly weren't avid radio listeners. I remember the first time I ever heard he had red hair, and he came into being, I think, probably in the 40s. He was on television eventually after that. I thought I'd never forget his name. He had red hair. I think I was in Mount Carmel with Jim. And I heard him on the radio for the first time. Oh, I thought he was an answer to a prayer. Oh, gee, I wish I remember his name. Then he was on television for a long time. He's probably gone by now. But we were certainly radio people. We never had a television at home. We didn't have any. The first one we ever heard was Brownie's Poultry, and they had one at their house. And we were invited over to see boy, we thought it was something else. It was only a very small screen in those days. And I think they'd just gotten it, and they called us up and said, come over, and it was a little small screen. Helen and Brownie.
Do you remember the space race?
Hmm?
Do you remember the space race?
Space Race?
Going to the moon and all that.
I remember we were down in Florida visiting friends, and we went out on their deck and saw the first, flyover?
Satellite or space?
Satellite.
Satellite.
We were really radio people. We didn't have much to do with TV, but we certainly loved the radio, and still do today. Much rather have it than TV. And at night, you go in for the 6 o'clock news, and that's what you watch. Who turned the kitchen light off? Huh.
There's a gentleman who walked through.
Oh. Turn the 6 o'clock news and then Jeopardy at 7. I can't remember anything after that. A lot of times I just shut it off and read. Gad.
Well, Spec, I think I've held you over.
Hmm?
I think I've held you over on your shift.
Oh, I don't care. That's immaterial to me. Yeah, what's this, Wednesday? I don't have to cook. There's nothing to go home for. We come back down here at 5. Oh.